Travers looking deep down the left side. Mendeville into the end zone. Touchdown! Down the sideline, still Foley to the house.
And the players streaming from the sideline to celebrate with 17 seconds left.
Trevor's done talking, so we can start the show now.
I got nothing left to
This
say.
is BVarsity
I'm going
Live.
home.
You're like 100,000 decibels in my ear too. This is BVarsity. Okay, I gotta take that thing out. Sorry. This is BVarsity Live for Thursday. It's making my eyes water. You see that? For Thursday, December 1st. It was like buzzing in my ear and stuff, so I can't hear Chris. So we're officially going rogue.
I can hear Chris.
All right. Well, you don't count. This is BVarsity Live for Thursday, December 1st. It is the section championship edition for high school football, and that means anybody sitting here in our studio is playing for a Valley title tomorrow, which is exciting stuff. We start with the Bakersfield High Drillers. We have Bishop Maxwell, Josh Moran, and Paul Gola, the head coach. I almost forgot your name.
Who?
Imagine that. Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations, guys, on sitting here, first of all, and making it this far, and I know it's not going to mean a whole lot unless you get the win tomorrow when we look back on things. But the number one seed Central is in your way. They've won 11 games in a row. You guys have won, I believe, 8 games in a row. You come in both flying pretty high. Coach, we'll start with you. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be a great game. You know, whenever you match number 1 and number 2, and they're on a roll, winning 11 straight games, very talented quarterback, great weapons. It's going to be a fantastic game.
And pretty similar styles as well as far as the makeup of the team. Maybe not the schemes, but both guys have tons of athletes on the edge. You both have great athletes on defense. You both have Josh, a quarterback who can kind of run the show. They've got a sophomore who just likes to throw up jump balls, and their guys go get them. You meanwhile, missed half the season, broken collarbone. You missed last season with injury as well. What's it like to be back and to be quarterback in this game?
It's amazing, but first I got to thank God for healing me, and my mom was the one that got the protein stuff. Don't let my dad take credit for that. That was my mom that looked it up on the website. And then all the doctors, Dr. Walker at Active Life, and then Dr. Bosque for clearing me, and then our team doctor, Rocky Chavez.
Dude, all I care about right now, Josh, is eating your dad's beef curry. He talks about it, and that's all I care about right now. So you can eat all that vegetable and chicken and broccoli. Bring that beef curry over to me, please.
Have you
Thank
had
you.
beef curry yet?
No, not yet, but I want
It's just been pumped up. Okay.
It's just been pumped up
by
enough.
the same guy who takes credit for the protein shakes. Just making sure about that. Yeah. So we'll have to see it to believe it, Mr. Moran. Bishop, for you, you've been part of this team the whole year. It's a young team, but you're one of the seniors on the team, right?
No.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm second guess myself there for a second. What has it been like to see this young team grow into this winning streak and into this position?
Oh, it's been great. Just seeing what we have become from last year to this year is just amazing. Seeing, like, last year we had no leaders. This year, you know, everybody's taking a part in the team. Everybody knows what they're doing. Being accountable for each other, that's what makes this a special team, especially for me being my last year. I want to go out with the bang.
Bishop,
Go ahead.
It was a long time ago, but think back to that game against Pleasant Grove and Ventura. I mean, you think about that was this season, even though it feels like a lifetime ago. You had an interception that game. Did you guys get a sense at that moment that this was a special year and that the turnaround was now?
Yes. After that win, I just knew from the start that we're going to have a great season. Just looking at all our players, a young team, everybody knows what they're doing. A lot of sophomores up on varsity that making big changes on our team. And after that, just seeing from last year to this year, this is going to be a great year.
Now, having said that, I think it was 4 weeks after that, you lose Josh against Valencia. You lose the game 48-9. It was the worst. I'm sure none of you guys even knew this, but it's the worst loss for BHS since 1985. Any panic at all, Paul? I mean, any sort of gosh, this just isn't going to work out for us this year.
No, not at all. It was a deal where, I really felt like we say be more afraid of success than failure. I really felt like we were kind of big-headed, and everybody, pat you on the back and say, it's almost like we beat Chaminade. I don't know how to say that, but everybody's telling you, man, look what you did, and you're right there. This is unbelievable, and I think we came into that game a little overconfident, and we got smacked around pretty good. And it was a great wake-up call, and that's why you want to play those type of teams early on, because you got to focus on the process. And if you don't focus on the process, you don't focus on the little things every single day, then that stuff is going to happen.
Central's defense, let's start there. What do you see from them, Josh?
Their front six, they're physical, they get after it, and then their DBs, they're athletic and they get after it too. They're just a phenomenal defense. It's gonna be a great matchup with our offense.
They got a couple of defensive ends who will straight up get after you. I know, and they've basically clinched a win each of the last 2 weeks with sacks. What does that do to you as a quarterback? I got to get the ball out faster. I might have to be on my toes. I mean, how do you approach a defense like that?
Oh yeah, head's gonna be on a swivel definitely, but yeah, I got to get the ball out quick, and then just got to read the defense, put us in the right play.
And Bishop, you play both sides of the ball, but let's talk about Central's offense. What do they? Where do they challenge you?
Oh, they challenge us a lot. They have some really talented receivers. We've been studying a lot. I feel like over the past practices that we've been studying a lot on their defense. I feel like as long as we're doing what we're doing, I think we're going to be good.
Does the sort of historical juxtaposition, if I can go there, strike you, Coach? You guys are BHS. You're the most storied team in the section, if not the state. They've never won one, so they're kind of new at this. That makes them hungry. I don't know, but can you sit back and appreciate that storyline?
No, not at all. I think in 2007, I told Shelly, my wife, that, man, I really wanted this one team to win because they're the underdog. And she goes, Paul, do you realize you guys are never the underdog at Bakersfield High? And kind of looked at things different then.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, great for them. And they've had a great program. And they beat us up 3 or 4 years ago in the semis up there. And they do a great job of coaching. Coach Biggs does an excellent job. And but the deal is we got to focus on ourselves and take care of what we need to take care of. And we're just looking forward to a great opportunity.
This is your 6th section championship in 12 years. You've won 4 of the previous 5. But it's been 3 years. It's like a drought by your standards. What's it feel like to be back?
I'm telling you, it feels awesome. And I would be a liar if I tried to downplay that. I mean, this is what you work for, to get in a chance in the playoff, to play in a championship game. And Coach Durant in his championship meeting this week, he said that with great memories and for great opportunities. And our kids have worked hard for this, to get a chance to play in this game.
Josh, you've had a lot of time to sit and think about it, I know, because of injuries and things like that. But BHS hasn't been what the expectations are every single year the last couple of years. Did you ever doubt you'd get back to this level for your senior year, or what was that journey like?
I don't think we ever had a doubt because, especially freshman year, as a group, we knew we had a special group. So when we got to this year, I think it just clicked. Like, we can't be like last year. We got to be leaders. We got to hold everybody accountable. So that's what we did.
I think this is pretty incredible. Paul, you just shared this stat with us, and the great thing about it is that this book right here that Rick Van Horn did 6 years ago was so great to look back at all the years and all the history, and that's where we found out that Josh set a single game passing record, which is phenomenal. You think 123 years of this program, that your senior, who you thought was gone for the year, comes in the semifinals at BC, throws for 307 yards, and is a single game program record, and that's incredible. And when you look at this too, you just shared with us 627 yards against Stockdale, total yards of offense, passing and rushing. 626 against Liberty. Now, was that playoff? Was that Friday night?
Yes.
And then you look at the game against Centennial in league play, 592. Those first two, top 2 all time at BHS. And you look at the Centennial game, number 8th all time. You're talking about 3 of the top 8 single game performances for your offense in the history of this program. Where this year, what does that mean to you, Paul?
It's I try to tell our kids that it's a total unselfish offense running the option. So, if you have an ego, it's going to be tough for you to run this offense because you just never know who's going to have a great night. If someone tries to overload on Shane and then someone else, Bishop's going to have a great night. If they try to take away the quarterback, someone else can have a big night. So it's fun to see those stats because that just represents the unselfishness that we have on our football program.
Let's go into it a little bit more. And you talk about unselfishness. You got 3 guys, and Josh being back in the fold. The unselfishness is that Caden Ochoa and Cam Williams can now go back to being superstars for you on defense more, and that's really going to predicate more with Bishop back there and Isaiah Jernigan and Devontae Demison. I mean, you guys really have a good shot of slowing down their receivers that have really kind of blown by most of the other teams. How excited are you to see all those guys back there really kind of seeing what they can do?
It's when those guys have a big night on defense, we're going to have a big night for sure. And especially this week when that quarterback, he runs that spread so well. He does a great job of seeing and his vision, and you're right, and he'll throw that thing, 40 to 50 yards up in the air. And so
on the run sometimes.
On the run sometimes.
Crazy plays.
And so our safeties, Cam and Isaiah, they got to have, and Justin McGill, they're going to have big nights for us.
Bishop, Coach talks about, you guys hear chatter on the streets, but when you guys come into the locker room, it all kind of goes away. How much are you hearing from people around Bakersfield about this team and the history of this program, what you guys could do tomorrow night? And then how much of that do you just take it, say, thank you, sir, and move on and get ready for practice?
We hear it all the time. A lot of parents saying, other people saying, oh, you guys are going to blow Central out, stuff like that. When we get back in the locker room, it's not really a big deal. It's like it's going to be a good game. It's not going to be an easy game for us. As long as we do what we're doing, focus on what we have to do during the game, I think we're going to be good.
I want to, while we're on the topic of the offense, I want to give a shout out to Sean McEwen also, who came over from Independence. Yeah. I heard you say to him after the Liberty game on Friday night, hey, I just stayed out of your way tonight. He's kind of been on a roll, and he's juggling a lot, too, with play calling.
He in 2005, 6, and 7, he was with us, and then went over to Independence, and then we're blessed to have him back. Last year, he kind of, even though he did it for 3 years. Last year was still, it was a learning experience. Then in the off season, we're able to go visit the Air Force Academy together, and he's taken control. He's done a phenomenal job. And you're right. At one point I said, look, I'm just going to go be a head coach now.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
Well, and that's the same thing for Sean too, is that he stepped away from the head coaching position because he had other endeavors that he had to take care of within his family. And so you get to stay as a head coach, and he gets to do what he loves, and that's just coaching the game of football and not all the other outside stuff that you guys have to deal with, which is a neat situation for Sean, too.
Oh, man, we're blessed. He is very good. X's and O's, but also as a great human being. We when he came back over, we were doing backflips.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, as far as offense, and Trevor's like a records guy and a numbers guy, and he likes to say these things and figure them out, and he does a great job with it. As far as how many times the school passing record has been reset since that book that he has was published in like 2009.
Brian Burrell went up top.
And then Chris did it. Yeah.
Well, no, Chris Hannibal came in and did it, and then Asani came in and held it. And then what's funny is that Kier Gregg, who got kind of got thrown into the mix last year, had the second most.
Almost every true quarterback you've had since 2009, and even going back to Pete Mitchell, I think, has broken the school passing record. Part of that's a sign of the times. It's where football's going a little bit. But is that also by design a little bit, Coach?
Absolutely. When we have a quarterback to throw the ball, we're scary. We're scary because now people want to play man-to-man on the outside and even play man on our inside guys. It just opens up the passing game. Right now, I believe, yardage-wise, and you guys are the stat guys, but I think 55% of our offense is rushing and 45% is passing.
That's as balanced as you've been
ever
in a while. Yeah.
Yes.
Josh, and I know a quarterback loves to throw the ball, but when you come to Bakersfield and they put you at quarterback on the freshman team and everything, and maybe you played in youth ball, you don't necessarily think you're going to throw the ball that much, do you, in that offense?
No, you don't think so. But we do run the ball a lot, so it does open play action for us, which are big plays for us. But I don't really care about the records. It's about the wins for us.
But how much of that truly is kind of predicated on the fact that you guys have so many big plays that it cuts down on those 3-yard runs, 5-yard runs, 2-yard runs, because it's so balanced, because you guys get out and you get along.
It's I think every snap, Josh and Cam and those guys, they have an opportunity to throw the ball 100% of the time, and and we won't know sometimes. It's just what they see and what people are trying to do to us.
Do you know, Bishop, when you're in the game sometimes what's going on behind you because of all the options on a given play that you're not sure whether it's a run or pass? How do you check on that and still do your duty?
Usually it's just I listen to what Josh calls. He makes the calls, and whatever I see, whatever after the first play, whatever we see, come back with answers, let them know. It's what kind of opens up our offense to run whatever we want to run.
So it's constant communication between you guys as far as what's open and what's not.
All the time.
Yeah, very cool. What's tomorrow look like as far as the travel schedule and everything, Coach?
We're getting out of class at 2:12.
Okay. And 30 seconds?
No, 2:12. That's when water boils.
Right. That's true.
So 2:12.
Oh, is that planned? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Everything
I
has
thought
to be
that's when
planned.
sixth period ended or something at 2:12.
We want to be 2:12 in the playoffs, but and then we'll go over to Uncle's and get some chicken pasta, and we'll get on the bus at 2:45. We're leaving. Then we'll head over to the park in Visalia, and then we're off to Central to play some football.
So you'd get in at 4:30ish.
We should be there itinerary-wise right before 5 or 5.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we wish you guys the best of luck. 7 o'clock tip tomorrow, or kick tomorrow. It's not basketball season yet. You should, that's coming. But
That was fun, Tuesday.
This is still a kickoff. And we will have that game live for you on Bakersfield.com, an audio feed, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. And good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations. The BHS Drillers will be back with the D2 championship team playing for the D2 championship, the Ridgeview Wolfpack, right after this on BVarsity Live.
We're Kern County,